Well, let's this is getting heated, but we're
I
talking
was just
about
saying, it was just like, it just bothers me.
it's just a good segue. So we're speaking about, of course, Alien Covenant. There's a new Alien movie happening, Alien Romulus, and we've got some brand new details about it. It's a very interesting.
What have the Romulans got to do with Alien? Oh, Romulus.
Oh dear, goodness.
So they're gonna be on Romulus
No,
in the Star Trek universe.
That'd be really neat.
God. Do you know where Romulus comes from? Don't you? Right?
Star Trek.
No, are you joking me?
No,
that's where I know it from.
Yeah, that's where I most.
Romulus was the legendary founder and the first king of Rome.
Ah,
okay.
You didn't know that?
No. You need a little now you know thing.
Yeah.
Wait, I have with a little star flying across the street. There you go.
Now you
Mr.
know.
H teaches instead of Mr. H review. Mr. H teaches.
I used to be a teacher.
Awesome. I can see that.
Really?
You know this? Yeah, I used to be a teacher before I did this. No, true story.
They let you your children? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, not after that first week, but yeah.
I was gonna say you probably scared them to death.
So basically, Fede Alvarez is working on Alien Romulus. We covered this actually here on the stream before, so it shows how much you pay attention.
Yeah, but I don't think it had a name yet, though, did it?
That was the name. That was what we covered. The name had just been revealed,
maybe I missed it. Then I didn't pay attention.
No, you were here. You just didn't pay attention. So anyway, Alien Romulus, Fede Alvarez is working on it. But we've got some. This is potential spoilers here.
Oh,
and it basically audition videos have surfaced.
God, I hope it doesn't take place on Earth.
No, well, no, definitely not from this.
Okay,
looks like some stuff may. It's obviously on a habitable planet. But there's 3 characters here. So there's a character called Bjorn, which we see here, played by this chap. And then there's he's doing these scenes, this guy. And then there's another character called Rain, who AVP Galaxy say is probably going to be Kaylee Spaney's character, and her android brother, Andy, which is hilarious because if you think about it, it's Andy Droid.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Droid.
Yeah. Andy Droid.
And Bjorn tells her, Rain, that he's discovered an abandoned Weyland-Yutani ship and wants to use Andy to gain access, as Andy was manufactured by the company. So it's interesting because you have Weyland-Yutani still very much a part of this world, this universe, which predates Alien Resurrection, if they're keeping the same timeline. So it starts to give us a timeline of where this is going to sit. The second scene finds Andy and Bjorn alone, presumably aboard the previously mentioned Weyland-Yutani vessel. Bjorn is clearly disturbed by the situation, and Andy is attempting to calm the spooked Bjorn by telling him a joke. Bjorn isn't fond of Andy and said, I can't wait to never see him again. So to me, it reeks of this kind of like mercenary element, staged, planned, that kind of thing. The third, but bear in mind, this might not be in the movie, but it's still interesting. These are characters that are, are going to be there, or at least elements of this is going to be there. But these scenes might not be. They might just made this up. Anyway, the third and final scene sees Bjorn saving another character from a facehugger. The dialogue revolves around whether it had time to finish the implantation, which goes further some more to an element that this guy might be hired by Weyland-Yutani to creep aboard the vessel, or a mercenary to grab an alien. If they know about the creature, they know about the xenomorph, then logic dictates there's some element of planning going on. And then Bjorn's very agitated and tries to escape. So trying to escape isn't good. And then Andy blocks his way and Bjorn shoots Andy. So it goes very much down to that sort of, well, clearly something's going on here, Very,
just
very
like
clearly
every other movie.
Well, I think this is quite cool. What do you guys think so far?
I am a huge Aliens fan. I mean, it's in my top 5 of all-time franchises for me. So, if they're getting back to space and back to the OG, original alien concept time frame. I'm going to be interested in seeing it.
Can one of you share your screen and share this article and play the video? I can't get audio to work, it seems. So I just chucked it in the private chat. If one of you guys can do that for me, that'd be great. Normally you, Tom, that does that.
Try it.
Doo-doo.
You want the guy talking is what you're looking for?
Yeah, it's the only one that plays. The others are like you got to log in and stuff. They're private videos, so you won't have permission to watch them anyway. But I want you guys to listen to the dialogue, because the dialogue to me, I did a video on this today, and I'm like, the dialogue, not that great. So just play it, you'll see what I mean.
That's what I'm talking about, bitch.
Oh, fuck my ass.
Okay.
Well,
The hell?
What?
Hey.
What's up, Rain? Long time no see.
Too long, huh? Heard about your dad. Sorry. Between the hailstorms and new diseases every fucking cycle, I tell you.
Yeah. Everybody's dying. Come on. Show her.
So, last week we're loading the southeast tower. About a mile above ground.
Suddenly, beep, beep. The hauler picks up this beacon. Navarro tracks it. Spots this big Wagyu ship drifting away right above us.
Drifting?
Decommissioned. Probably damaged or obsolete. Like Dum Dum over there.
Cheaper to just leave them floating up there than to scrap them.
Come on. Just tell her what we need already. Probably gonna go ahead and say no anyways.
What do you need?
Andy. We need Andy. He's a Wayland Yutani synthetic and he speaks mother. He can help us access the ship's terminal, in and out, with no fuss.
It's impossible to get in otherwise. What do you think? I think we should wait another cycle and apply again.
Come on, Rain! Wake the fuck up!
Let us take Andy with us then. I'm not sending my brother up there.
Hey! He's not your brother. It is Wagyu damaged goods that your daddy used to own. And that's all he fucking is.
We're getting close.
Yeah, you pause it now. Do you want to listen to some of that dialogue? Like, I absolutely... Yeah, I hate the dialogue.
Oscar performance.
Well, there's a few things to obviously consider here.
Can I say this up front? Andy, for the name of the android, is about as original as a trans man calling himself Amanda. I'm just going to say it right now. But
yeah, I mean, but it might. So it may be short for something. Maybe an acronym of some description.
Still,
like
just
they
the dialogue is junk.
The dialogue's awful.
It's this modern kind of take on. I hate that. It's like the problem with Star Trek right now. Yeah,
too modern.
It feels kind of like a street kid, kind of like a of an approach to that character.
Yeah. It is important. Like I was trying to just cut in, is that this is an audition tape.
Right.
These the elements, the scenes here might not be in the film, might be, but it is an audition tape. Things are infinitely better when they're actually there, ready to go. Things like this. Most audition tapes suck, but to me, and that's why I wasn't like, oh, look at the acting. It was just listen to the dialogue. That's what I wanted people to listen to. It's the dialogue that's crap. It's too modern, right? It's too current day.
The original Alien had very straightforward dialogue. Like they were not like all. I mean, they had some moments where they had levity, where they were just chit chatting and stuff like that, where they're talking about work and stuff like that. But for the most part, they didn't act like they didn't bring in this whole like cultural aspect to the characters to where you didn't have one character being like all cowboy like and all that kind of stuff. That kind of shit didn't really come until later. It's like, I get it. You want to add some flair to some of these characters, but making them too modern doesn't, it's kind of just this typical thing where, it was popular in this thing, so we'll do it now, and we'll do it now. So it's just a carbon copy of a carbon copy. This is why I hated Covenant too, because all those characters are just horrible freaking characters. But
this actor could have performed this in 100 different ways, right? Different, pauses like that. It's the dialogue itself that Nate's talking about, and I agree with you. It sounds like today rather than in the past or in the future or whatnot. And there's you're right. I mean, it doesn't. And again, that can all be refined later, but it doesn't feel. I don't know. It didn't feel like an Aliens film, and it didn't feel like there was weight on the front or the back of it. And there's. I'm surprised he didn't use like the word derelict about the ship and things like that. There's a lot of different choices.
No, I think derelict would have been a bit too on the nose for the derelict, the vessel on LV-24,
right?
6. To be fair, so I don't hate them for that. It's just it's the type of dialogue to me that it's too modern. It's just I'm not a fan of it, and I always cast my mind back to Aliens, and I'm like, you know what, like. And also Alien, of course, there wasn't that much cursing. Like in that line of dialogue, that short scene, there was so much bloody cursing in there. It was absolutely outrageous versus what they used to do in those films. I can't remember there was that much. The cursing in those films.
I'm trying to even remember if there was an F word in the first movie.
I think there might have been.
Like, one or two, maybe.
Yeah, there was a couple.
It was a reactive F word. It wasn't.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't remember it being littered with in the second film as well. Like, I don't remember him being so littered with 4-letter words. The second one maybe had a little bit more, but that's because it came out in the 80s. But
it's also because they were Marines and they had
that too, and they had that kind of they were locker room talk.
Yeah. So I don't know. Look, I mean, I'm not such a fan of that. The dialogue, the acting, I'm not going to judge, and I don't think any of you guys should judge either. Just as an FYI.
No, but it's
just tapes generally are shit. So don't.
Oh, I mean, it's absent. It's absent direction. Yeah, it's absent direction. Right.
My reaction, Nate, is coming from the fact that look, I get it where you're coming from because you're a huge Alien fan. I come from the domain of there's 2 good Alien movies and that's it. Right, like that's where we're at. Like we've had 2 decent ones. The rest of them we can kind of chalk up in this mediocre, somewhere around 6 or below level out of 10. And at this point, this just sounds like more of the same. Now that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. You're not wrong there. Like it would be nice to kind of get Alien back to the roots of what Alien and Aliens were. I don't have a problem with that so much,
or expand on it.
Yeah, but this is not selling it to me, right? Like the things that I found interesting in some of the other sequels, like with 4 and stuff like that, like they got too hung up on Ripley. Like I'm glad they moved beyond that. That's great. But like
superhero.
Yeah, but now they've destroyed the creature because
never destroyed the creature. All they've done, and they haven't. They haven't destroyed the creature. They've changed the creature too much because they thought that it wasn't scary anymore. And this is a whole other discussion, but this is
right.
Ridley Scott saying,
well, I was gonna say this is more Ridley Scott trying to restamp it, but yeah.
But the Beast was never done. The Beast was never done, and all you did was make the same. You literally made the first film again. You retreaded the elements of the first film.
Well, to
again,
me,
in 2 goes with a different alien, and that's wrong. You don't do that. And I've always said, whenever I've covered this, is that what you should always do is you take the Alien franchise, because the Alien franchise and the Beast works. It's lasted throughout all of pop culture. It's existed. It's been captivating. It's a beautiful design, beautifully horrifying design, but it's great. And all you do is you then implant the alien into a new genre. So you go, right, body horror mad scientist. Boom, there you go. There's the inception point for a new Alien film. And that keeps it alive.
Oh, I agree with you there, but that's not even the point I was getting to. I'm talking about the origin itself, actually. Because like I was just fine with the mystery of just getting enough out of that first movie that these guys clearly made a weapon that was biological. It got away from them.
Yeah, that's what you needed to do, though.
That's all you needed. You didn't need to expand upon it in Prometheus and make it this. Like I said, it's Ridley Scott basically feeding ducks at that point.
It's actually not, though. So it is him, and it's also not him. Like, we're going way off topic, but the thing about Prometheus and Alien Covenant is that the main story elements are actually given to him by a producer, one of the key producers. It was like, oh, you need to do this. He was very hung up on the religious aspect and the sentiment there. And then that is something which him and Ridley were feeding off of. They weren't actually Ridley's ideas. They were a producer's ideas. I'd have to do some research again to figure out the exact name. I can't remember.
Yeah, but I know. It was a very convoluted situation, but My point was they had to overcomplicate the simplicity of it. That to me was the issue. Because you're right. The alien itself is a very simplistic. Well, I know, and that's part of the problem. And and then Covenant, you're right. He just remade the first movie only worse.
Yeah,
it's just like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, it's such poo. But anyway,
beyond that, like you're right. Like I would like a classic kind of, and I like that idea of the alien being able to be dumped into different kinds of sci-fi and horror.
That's how you keep it fresh. That's literally how you keep it fresh.
Well, that's how Predator's been working, basically, I guess.
I mean, but it's so easy to do as well. Like, there you go, mad scientist movie, but with aliens. So what it's so easy to do. Body horror film with aliens. Alien is body horror, but you just go a serial killer with aliens. There's so many ways you can go around it. So many ways. It's not hard. It's really not hard. But they just don't get that because they're so fixated on, the beast is done. It's not done. Shut up. Like, why
no, I don't ever have a problem with them
so
like
long?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with them like evolving the beast. Like that was actually one of the interesting aspects I thought of Alien 3 was that, this idea that it would mutate with whatever the host was. That I have no problem with. That's cool.
Yeah, DNA sharing. That makes
But my issue is that,
the random
they took the simplicity of it basically being an analogy for nuclear weapons, basically, and put it into this alien creature. And I love the simplicity. You don't have to mess with that. Like you said, you take everything else around it and just dump that into whatever it is. As long as it's far enough out from the first two films, I don't think anybody will care. Because that's the problem we had with like AVP and some of these other movies. They're like scratching your head going, wait a minute, this is supposed to take place how many years before Alien? Yet we never even knew these existed. Now
and on Earth.
And on Earth. And then the second one's even worse. Don't even get me started on that. But like, now we're getting way off topic here. But like, no, I would like a simplistic, decent alien horror-ish sci-fi film would be great.
Well, I think that's what we are getting with this. But I just hope they knock down some of that dialogue a bit more. I mean, it's shooting already, so I hope they sort that dialogue out because it's not good.
Well, that's part of the simplicity of it, right? Like, look at the first Alien as a whole. Like, it doesn't matter. The characters are interchangeable. They said it themselves. They're all truckers, so they all speak the same kind of vernacular. They don't have like a slang per se, but they do have, things they talk about that you can kind of relate to just from a modern standpoint, but it doesn't sound modern, right?
No. We didn't need to. Like, they were just working class Joes in that environment. It was pretty easy to
just talking about work and money and stuff like that. And then,
getting their bonuses anyway.